Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Schoolboy here with another video. And today we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 13, episode 6, A Ring Around the Rumor. But before we get started, let us go ahead and get some standard housekeeping out of the way. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. My name is Schoolboy, and over here we are the scholars. And scholars, we look at it. We have a different take and a different approach to reality TV. We put common sense and logic into this, and yeah, we get some reads, some gags, and some giggles in it. But we also keep it a buck 50 on these reality TV shows. We don't cut no corners over here. So if you're smart and you got some emotional intelligence and some intellectual thoughts, this is the channel for you. So if you're here, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe to the channel, and you push me through the algorithm, because God knows YouTube is doing some weird stuff lately with the views and the numbers and everything like that. So we want to make sure that you guys are able to push the video through the algorithm. That's a free way of supporting the channel. Also, let's talk about it. The current show that I am also executive producing with my boy Chef Don Don, like a brother to me. This is a The Chef Don Don Productions. It is Hotline Bling Chat Room. This appears every Friday. This Friday we have a special two-part episode, and the reason why we have a two-part episode is because the weekend before last, it was Thanksgiving, and we wanted everybody to enjoy the Thanksgiving meal and friends and family. And also two of my co-hosts, Shayla Set and Chase, shout out to them. They both had birthdays. So we wanted everybody to enjoy their time with their families. Also, Chase and Shayla said to enjoy their birthday. So that went down and everybody enjoyed their birthday. So this week, actually tonight, we have a brand new episode of Hotline Bling Chat Room. The first episode will premiere at 10:15 Eastern Standard Time, 9:15 Central. I know it's late. It's going to come on premiere after Bell Collective. If you don't catch it on the original broadcast, I would suggest you catch it on the original broadcast, because will tell you a little bit of the contest that we're doing as far as the holidays, and we're going to do some giveaways and some things. So participation is needed and it's a must. So if you can be at that premiere so you can participate in that. And also, but you can always catch the replay the next day on Chef Don Don's channel by make sure you subscribe. You take your finger, you hit the notification bell button, and you hit all, so that you can know every time videos drop down, not just for Hotline Bling, but any of his content that he's dropping, because he's always dropping heat over there. As well as episode 2 will drop on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, if you want to participate in the Christmas giveaway, you got to be in the chat when the episodes premiere. That way, as episodes are premiering, you get to understand how the contest works and everything like that. So make sure y'all go over there, support Chef Don Don's channel as well as mine. And also, make sure y'all check out Hotline Bling Chat Room. And if you haven't caught the first 2 episodes, go over there and watch them as well. Okay? Because the show is funny, it's messy. We have a good time over there. And it is always a good key. As well, if you ain't know, now you know. Your boy is definitely getting a new web reality dating series. This also is a The Chef Don Don Productions, and it will be premiering spring of 2024. So around March, this will be premiering. I will begin filming in January for the show. And since we will be premiering it in March, and it is December, we wanted to extend casting for the show as well. So if you would like the opportunity to date me, casting has been extended. The deadline is going to be Saturday, December 23rd of 2023. So 2 days before Christmas. So if you're looking for love and companionship and you want to try it out with your boy and date me, the show requirements is going to be ages from 30 to 45. We want you to definitely live in the DFW area, but if you don't and you're traveling out of state into We just letting you know that we are not responsible for, your flights or anything like this. This ain't no Bravo production. We ain't balling like that. But you can't be in no entanglements and not married. Please don't get up on here and think you finna be dating me and you got a whole husband. Not it. You must be active on social media and be available to film during the production dates. You want to go ahead and apply at www.tcddproductions.com. I will also put that website inside the description box of the video so that y'all can go ahead and apply there as well. Also, if you would like your business featured on Hotline Bling and or School of Love, and you have a Black owned business, make sure that you email us your business and your commercial already pre-clipped and made. Your commercial has to be pre-made, to admin at tcddproductions.com. Once you send over your information, they will give you the rates on having your business promoted throughout the shows. So again, ladies, if you want to apply to date me, these are the requirements. The show will be premiering sometime it'll be premiering in spring, which is March. So March, look out for the show. Around March, the show will be out there. So I wanted to get that housekeeping out of the way, okay? And make sure y'all get all of that information down. If y'all have any further questions, y'all can always DM me, and I can direct you to who you need to speak to. We do have a whole entire team that handles all of those things. As well, scrolling at the bottom of the screen is my Twitter, which is school_boy, and my IG, which is school_boy_2021. Those are the social medias that you can follow me at. You can always cash at me or Venmo me if you like anything. You like the commentary, you can always tip me. It's all good. Content creation is what I do full time now. So this is my means of living. So if y'all want to donate, please and thank you. You can donate. Also, I know a lot of people have been asking me about Amazon wish lists and things of that nature. I do have it in my links, which will be located in the description of the video. So, without further ado, let's just get into the things of this episode. Because this episode was really, I will say honestly, very, very interesting, to say the least. So the episode opens up with Dorit and Crystal. They come over to Kyle's house. Kyle brings up, so she hasn't had a business manager, and Dorit is like, she does. And Kyle's like, shoot, I just spend and I go on about my business. I ain't got no, nobody that handles that. I take care of that. And Dorit says, well, they have a spending manager, but when the business manager calls talking about the spending, Dorit claims she hangs up. And I'm like, girl, with all them robberies, you might not want to hang up on that business manager. You might want to stay on that line because you might not need to be spending no money. You might want to freeze on that with all of these multiple robberies that you say that you have had in the last year, because that's a lot, boo. Crystal brings up that Dorit and Garcelle talked at the party, and she says, well, I feel like it was right for her to apologize. And Dorit, I just feel like the apology was BS. I think you really didn't want to apologize. I think you apologized to appease Garcelle, and that's really what it was. And Crystal says it will take time for them to get through it. And Kyle asks then for some advice in regards to Sutton. And she brings up how Sutton felt about the elevator doors opening. And she begins to do this the Broadway drama and the mimicking of Sutton, like, and the doors opened. And here it was. Erica's friends are here conveniently and they're doing, and I'm just like, Kyle, like, you just wanted to insert yourself in Sutton and Erica's issue when you should have just fell back and let them two women handle it. But because you have this fixation with trying to get Sutton together and trying to bully upon Sutton that it's just something that you constantly keep doing. And I'm not understanding why you keep going with this woman like that, but you continue to keep doing it. And it's very aggravating. It's aggravating as hell to sit here and watch. Um, so Kyle claims that Sutton is aggressive, and here comes the Dorit claiming she believes it's alcohol, while Crystal is laughing at all of this. Crystal says in her confessionals, like, really, this is coming from someone who automatically has 3 cocktails in the morning. Like, girl, get off the gas. One, you didn't just stop. One of them that then got stopped drinking not too long ago and thinks she's holier than thou, and the other one that's still drinking and having 3 cocktails in the morning, and both of y'all act like Sutton is some kind of alcoholic. Like, this is laughable. And I agree with Crystal. Crystal says Sutton is acting normal to her. Like, she don't see what the big deal is, but whatever. They claim she's also used to it. And Crystal says in her confessions, like, Kyle, you got all these judgments, but you just quit drinking yesterday. And I'm like, girl, yes, she do got all these judgments, and you just quit drinking yesterday. And all honesty, for me, Kyle just stopped drinking yesterday because whatever Kyle is going through mentally is telling her she's telling herself to stop drinking because she's mentally was trying to drown her problems away with the alcohol. And so now she's cut the alcohol out. And yes, she's thinking clear, but she's also nasty because she's still running from the problems that she has instead of go getting her a damn therapist and handling her business. Because there's some more things going on with Kyle than what Kyle is trying to portray. She's out here projecting on folks, but ma'am, go off. Because at this time, I'm sick of Kyle, personally. Kyle claims she wants to make an effort to fix it with Sutton, and I'm like, girl, no, you don't. You don't want to fix it with Sutton. You and Sutton have been doing this since day one, alcohol or not. Y'all have been doing this to each other since day one, and it's more so you than Sutton. Sutton is now really coming into her own and really defending herself and battling back with you, and it's just something that you just don't like. So it is what it is. For me at this point, everybody need to get up and just get over it because I'm tired of hearing both of them argue with each other. So the next scene opens up with Sutton and Garcelle meeting up to have dinner and drinks. And Garcelle says she drank too much the night before her event because everybody kept asking her, "Hey, have a drink with me. Have a drink, have a drink, have a drink." So she's like, "I'm not drinking tonight." And, Sutton, of course, is pulling Ocean Spray grapefruit out of her purse as she ordered a Kettle One on the rocks, which I think is so funny because she pulled out that damn Ocean Spray cranberry juice just like black folks will pull out hot sauce and ranch out they bag. It's just hilarious to me. So Garcelle asks who was she surprised to see at the party, and she says, "Oh, she was surprised to see Jerry O'Connell." And then, Garcelle brings up Sutton seeing Erica, and she says, "Yes, we saw each other. We didn't really say anything to each other. We don't really have that type of relationship," which Sutton and Erica don't have that type of relationship. So it's not really surprising that they didn't say, but only so much to each other. They said just enough to each other. It's just cute, like keep it cordial type thing. And I've been like that with people in public, so it's no big deal. Garcelle says it's wild that the elevator doors opened and her friends were automatically there. Sutton basically says, "Well, I said the same thing to Kyle, and she jumped in and defended Erica." And Garcelle said, "I bet that made you upset." And Sutton says, "Yes, because that's an issue between me and Erica, and it had nothing to do with me and Kyle." Again, Kyle don't know how to read the room, and Kyle is defensive with everybody and jumping in everybody's shit so that Kyle can deflect from really addressing what's really going on between her and Mauricio. As long as she can keep avoiding that and jumping herself into everybody else's business, Kyle's gonna keep doing that, and that's how I see it. Garcelle says it seems like you hit a nerve, and Sutton says, "Yes, I did." And did you notice she's not wearing the same ring anymore? And Garcelle says she didn't pay attention to the chain. She doesn't pay attention that close, but she did notice that after the robbery, Dorit still had her jewelry, which I thought that was some funny shade. I noticed a lot of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills fans. Anytime Garcelle says anything, y'all get so sensitive about her saying anything about these white women, and I find it odd. but then these white women try to not argue with her so they don't seem racist on the show. So it's kind of like a catch 22. But at the same time, if you notice somebody wearing jewelry, but they claim they didn't got robbed out for all of their jewelry, it is a red flag. And then somebody is going to look at it and be like, girl, what? You know? But anyways, Sutton says the tabloids are running around saying that she's having issues in her marriage and a new ring pops up and she's not interested in the rumors. She just wants to know, is Kyle okay? More or less, I just want to be your friend. I don't know what's going on with you and your man. I don't care what the tabloids are saying. I just want to know you're okay as a friend. And I think Kyle is really honestly thinking that it's more or less, oh, she wants to be messy about the rumors and what's being seen on the blogs. And I don't really think that it's like that. Sutton is really coming from a good place, but Kyle is defensive because she does not want to address what is being said about her and Mauricio. She does not want to address it. So Garcelle says, well, if y'all are going to have a friendship, you got to be honest with one another and clear the air once and for all. And I do get what Garcelle is saying, but in this case, Sutton and Kyle will never be able to clear the air because Kyle does not. She's gonna keep pushing it all on Sutton and not taking the responsibility for her part in it. So it's really not gonna go anywhere. Erica opens up about her scene with Alexia. So we move over to Erica. Erica opens up in her scene with Alexia, who is her talent manager now. She parted ways with the other dude. And that was because he was out here leaking stuff, in prior seasons and all of that. And so she just parted ways with him. And now she's trying to get people to work with her after the split with Tom and trying to rebuild her up. And her managers says, hey, you can start by just taking accountability. That will help her begin to revive the career and she'll be able to perform again. Now, flash forward, now she is somewhere in Vegas performing. Erica Jane has a spinoff that will be premiering and everything. So clearly things are picking up for her and clearly she's getting work. Okay. Clearly this talent manager was able to work magic for her. The manager says she will make some calls and see what can happen. She's like, the worst thing that people can say is no. And she was absolutely right. Hey, we don't know what somebody will do or who's willing to work with you after all of this. The only way that we will know is if we go ahead and put the feelers out there and ask. So we move from that scene. The next scene is Garcelle and her son Jax go to dinner together. She brings up the beach conversation and how he hurt her feelings. He says, well, he looked up the information on the divorce and he's known since he was 8 what was happening. Garcelle was shocked that he looked up this information. And it's like, Garcelle, these kids nowadays have access to everything. You also blasted your ex-husband via email. I love you, Garcelle, but we can't act like we can't be this out of touch with this and act like your son was saying something to you that was so foreign, because it wasn't. He was saying something that's valid. Any kid can go look up anything on their parents nowadays, especially if they're famous, because everything is posted up on the blogs, everything is posted up out here. So it's not like you was going to be able to keep it from him, even though you were doing what a parent should do, which is trying to coddle them from what's going on. But at the same time, in this day and age, you can't. And I also feel like sometimes parents don't realize kids are more emotionally intelligent than y'all give them credit to. If she would have probably had a conversation, she would have known how he would have felt about the divorce a long time ago and not be so new right now to figuring it all out and now finally knowing what he really feels. So he does say that, he knows his dad was wrong and it was his fault that the family broke up. And Garcelle says she found out her ex was cheating by his phone and going in it and seeing the messages from the other woman saying she loved him and all of that. She said the kids at one point were in the car with her and her ex-husband. They were arguing and she was saying to him, tell her who the texts were from. And then I guess she was saying, because she was saying, tell her who it is so much, Jack chimed in and said, tell her. And that's when they stopped the full conversation. Garcelle says she realizes that she really needs to see Jax and his feelings, and she says she loves him for being outspoken, and he actually teaches her certain things, and she's growing and learning from him. So I think it was a good moment to actually see. And like she said, most of the time we didn't have these conversations with our parents. A lot of us didn't have these conversations with our parents. We weren't this emotionally evolved. We weren't able to sit down and express ourselves. A lot of us were seen but not heard, those types of situations. And a lot of Black households, that's how it is growing up. And so, and it's when you get older that you break those types of bad habits and formative behavior, because now you are breaking those things that once are kind of like generational curses. And, you start to do the things that you didn't do with your kids. So I thought it was a good scene. The next scene is Kyle at this tattoo shop, and she's getting another tattoo. And Mauricio didn't want her getting another tattoo, but she's getting another tattoo. And the Morgan Wade chick shows up while the artist is sketching the tattoo, and it's like this little small stars and planet. It just was a really, if you ask me, it was a dumbass tattoo. I like when you get tattoos with true meanings and stuff like that. To me, it just seemed really corny and just some shit to put on your body, but whatever. This is Kyle's way of self-expression, and to me, honestly, rebelling against the person that she really has the issues with, which is Mauricio, instead of really addressing the issues that Mauricio has. Kyle, to me, is just doing shit to rebel against Mauricio that she knows Mauricio don't like. That's my opinion. Okay. So Morgan says she's all covered up with tattoos and agrees with Kyle that she doesn't think. Before she does things, she just flows through life. And some people just do flow through life. Morgan says that she got into an argument on IG with someone about Kyle's tattoos, and someone said Kyle was trying to be like her. And she was like, she doesn't care. Who cares? And jokes about how, Kyle possibly having a midlife crisis, and Kyle playfully hits her. And I'm like, Kyle, you is having a midlife crisis and or not just wanting to address the issues in your marriage. So you're finding other outlets and ways to channel the anger and channel what you're going through, and really, instead of really expressing it and getting it out of the way and really having a conversation so that you can get clear thought and channel through it and either make a decision to stay or go. Because really, I think just at this point, Kyle is avoiding anything that she deems hard to really deal with. Kyle says people are really confused by their relationship, and the tattoo artist asks how did they meet. Morgan says she stalked me. Kyle says she did, and it was after she heard her music, and Morgan's friends were freaking out because Kyle Richards shared her music on her story. Kyle brings up that she's having a THC CBD dinner, and Morgan says it's weird that she's doing it since she won't even eat an edible. And Kyle mentions she feels pressure from the group to drink, and she doesn't anymore. And it's like, Kyle, I don't think you feel pressure. I think you have pressure to drink because you don't want to address anything that they're asking you. And drinking would be a way for you to escape or not have to think about it. And with a sober mind, you actually have to think about it and know that at any point in time, somebody could actually ask you about what the hell is going on between you and Mauricio. And instead of you wanting to address it, you want to continue to avoid it. And so it's the idea of drinking to keep yourself from having to deal with it is what it really is. And that's again, my thoughts, my opinion. Some folks may not agree with me with that, but that's where I'm at with it. Morgan says she shouldn't feel pressure to drink or to do anything with the group. And she's right. You shouldn't. But if you are good with the situation that you're in, then them pressuring you to drink shouldn't even bother you. Them asking you questions about your marriage shouldn't even bother you, because you should just be wanting to address it. But Kyle doesn't want to address it. It's easier to act like it doesn't exist at this point. Morgan says she has lost friends when she became sober, and Kyle acts shocked, and Morgan tells her if she decides to try the food, then try it. If she doesn't, then don't. Kyle asks Morgan to hold her hand while she gets tattooed. They're joking and laughing while she gets tattooed. I'll be honest with you. I don't really know what to think of Morgan and Kyle's relationship. I just think that they're friends. I don't think it's anything sexual of that nature. I think a lot of people are putting 20 on 10, and the reason why they're putting 20 on 10 is because Kyle's running around without no wedding ring. Kyle and Mauricio are rumored to be having marital issues, which it's clear that there is some marital issues there. Um, and I just think that's because they're growing apart and nobody's really putting any too much effort to try to fix it at all on either end. So that's why it's just going the way it's going. That's one. And then also too, I feel like Morgan, she's just like a good friend. I have a lot of heterosexual friends. Okay. I don't want to sleep with them. I don't want to be with them at all. We're just friends, and that's the particulars of our relationship. We are friends, and that's it. I would never look at them in that manner. So I don't know. Like I said, it's weird narratives, and a lot of this is because of her and Mauricio. Had she just really just go out and address it straight on head on, it wouldn't seem like it's a problem. But she's not being seen as much with Mauricio and more so with Morgan Wade. So that makes people feel that, hey, there's more between them than just a friendship. And I think Kyle is using Morgan as emotional support in her safe space instead of fixing the issues that she has at home so that her husband can be her emotional support in her safe space. Instead, Morgan is now being that. That's just my opinion. Kyle goes home and walks in, and Mauricio is at his desk working in his office, and she notices his new book and the paperback version. And he says, "Did you read it?" And she says, "Well, not all of it." And he says, "Well, I sent you the whole book." And she says, "Well, I didn't finish it." And she says she just likes to read the paperback and not on a computer. And the producer in the confessional asks why she hasn't finished the book. And she's like, "I'll get to it." And again, you clearly see that they're not on the same page. And because they're not on the same page, she really don't want to do anything that has to deal with anything that has to do with Mauricio in general. And so she's just kind of sidestepping and making excuses for any and everything. She asks what time is he leaving for his flight the next morning. He tells her 7 a.m. And then they talk about his golf bag and how big it is. And she's like, "Well, shoot, you're gonna want to put me in that golf bag pretty soon." And he says, "Why?" And she says, "I got another tattoo." And he's like, "Honey, why are you doing that?" And she's like, "Well, it's just small, it's not a big deal." And he's asked, like, why are you doing that again? And he's like, "What is that?" And he sees it and he's like, "What is that?" And she shows him it's the stars and planet. He's like, "Well, why did you get it?" And she's like, "Because it's cute." And I'm like, okay, ding, 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 red flag, flag on the play. You're getting stuff to irritate him, and you're doing shit just because you really don't want to deal. He's asking you what's really going on with you. And instead of you communicating with your husband, you don't even want to communicate with him. So when a woman usually shuts off emotionally from a man, it's because she don't want to deal with him and she's done with it. If you're done with it, Kyle, go ahead and file them divorce papers and stop playing with this man. That's how I feel about it in all honesty. Because if this ain't where you want to be, you know, and you get conflicted like Donnell Jones, you need to figure it out. But don't sit up here and play with this man's time. He says he hopes he gets to see it, and she kind of laughs it off. And it's like, y'all ain't screwing. You don't want to be around him. Like, stop playing with this man. The next scene opens up with Sutton and her matchmaker, Alessandra. She comes over. Sutton invited Dorit over to help her pick a date with the matchmaker. Dorit comes in and asks what the matchmaker thinks of Sutton, and Alessandra says, they really looked under the car, and Sutton's like, "I'm not a car." And I'm like, "Sutton, is a damn metaphor. It's really not that serious." And Sutton's and Dorita's like, "It's a metaphor." It was just like, girl. And she points out, we pinpointed what she wanted based off of what she said. Alessandra says that Sutton is self-aware and she thinks she's not looking for a billionaire. And Sutton's like, "Ooh, girl, I didn't say all that now." Um, and Dorita's like, "Really? She's self-aware?" Because most would think she's erratic, and when you're trying to comfort her, she can get snippy, and she feels She's not self-aware in those moments. And I'm just like, okay, so, Dorit, now you trying to make this shit about you and your issues, and also you defending Kyle's issue with Sutton. Stay the fuck out of it. Stop trying and leave it alone. It is their issue to figure out. Like, really. Like, come on, bro. So Sutton says in her confessional, uh, she she's about to change her mind and ask Dorit to leave. Dorit is telling her to remain confident, and Sutton's like, I am. And they begin to go over the bachelors. Sutton is zoomed in on the first man's Peter Whacker, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. Everything, and I'm like, Lord, did you have to zoom in on the man's stuff? Sutton, you can't even get past the first date. Let's start there to get a second date before you worried about what's going on in the Peter Whacker area. You need to worry about that. Shout out to Chef Don Don for saying Peter Whacker, because he got me saying Peter Whacker now. The second one, she didn't want him because of what he had on. And I'm like, Sutton, this is just getting ridiculous. Like, girl. The matchmaker was like, what if someone judged you on your fashion choices? And I'm like, yeah, because that damn. Then they flash back to that when she had that kitten on that sweater and all that. I was like, yeah, girl, you have had some fashion don'ts too. So, especially on the first date. Then the last dude, she thought he was too boring since he liked eating plant-based and watching classical movies. Then she chose Bachelor 1. They suggest to her hugging the man, and she's like, nah, I ain't hugging him on no first date. And I'm just like, Sutton, girl, you ain't never gonna get a man if you don't loosen up or you don't deal with your insecurities from your last marriage, which to me seems to be what your problem is. And that's why you're not really having the trust. You're not being able to go with the flow naturally on a date. You're fighting what's going on in your brain. And either you're gonna be totally open to it or you're not. Because that's probably why you're not getting a second date. So we move on, and it's the night of Kyle's party. She's on the phone with Morgan via FaceTime, and she shows that, she got an A tattooed on her, and it's a symbolic gesture to Kyle's name. They flash to where Morgan allows Kyle to tattoo her, and this is on the same day that Kyle got that damn planet and stars, and she put a K on her, and I'm just like, I love my friends to death, but I don't want them heifers initials on me. That's nah. I love y'all, but I don't want y'all initials on me. Okay. And they joke about her tattoo. She tells her to have a good time at her show, and Kyle has to leave to finish getting dressed for her dinner party. Kyle then comes downstairs and asks the chef, is everything okay? Does he need anything? And he said he just needs her to do the seating chart. She puts the seating chart down, and Kyle feels like she is feeling peer pressure to drink, and she doesn't want to drink and do the splits and say anything that she regrets, but she's willing to eat the THC and the CBD if that's going to be different. And I'm like, girl, but okay, you really, Kyle, you just avoiding the elephant in the room, which is you and Mauricio and what's the real status of it. And if you ain't gonna talk about it, I'm just like, F it at this point. So Justin and Faye show up first, and the new lady Anne Marie shows up, and they didn't even really give her introduction at all, which was interesting. And so her introduction to me was lackluster. And she says she's an Aries and her birthday is April 17th. And I'm an Aries too, but I don't really care for them April Aries. They different. I'm gonna be honest. Kyle is shocked because that's her mom's birthday, and Faye's like, "Oh, that's a sign of good energy," and I'm like, "Girl, whatever." Kyle it tells her she has a fiery side to her. She met her at a party. She lives on the same street, and that's the nature of their friendship, of getting to know each other. She asked Anne Marie how many times a week does she work out, and she says, "Oh, 6 or 7 times days a week." And she says, "Well, Sutton made a comment about me working out so much, and I want you to back me up later when I bring this up in conversation." And I'm like, "How is you working out really that serious? Like, girl, you working out? Okay, fine." They're just noticing your patterns of changing of who you are. This is not something that they have noticed that you have done in the past. That's why they're bringing it up. Again, you will not address shit head on. You keep going left and right with it. And if you would just go ahead and say and speak on the elephant in the room, which is you and Mauricio, they wouldn't bring up anything else. Then it would explain the behavior. Explain one part and it explains the behavior. It just Kyle is really getting on my nerves. Faye says she thinks it's funny she's being attacked as the person being is attacked because she's a person being healthy. And Sutton walks in with Cynthia Bailey to the party. And shout out to Cynthia because Cynthia did look good. Sutton says she's seen Anne-Marie's dress before, and it was when Erica Jane was playing Barbie, and she said they're still making that dress, and I'm like, ooh, that was shade on a clothing choice. Erica comes in and hugs Sutton and asks what she's wearing, and Sutton says, "Oh yeah, it's Gucci." And then Erica's like, "Oh, is that vintage?" And meanwhile, Kyle is whispering to Anne-Marie that Sutton is the one who brought up, the working out thing as an issue. And like I said, this is where Kyle is using everyone to help her bully and jump on Sutton. And it's just like, stop it already. It's ridiculous. Either grow up and talk about your marriage or shut the fuck up at this point, Kyle, because I'm just over it. Crystal comes in with her friend and she hugs Anne-Marie and she says she doesn't know her much. They have mutual friends and says she talks a lot and the bitch is nosy. And I said, I can already tell she talk a lot and the bitch is nosy. Okay. Aries can be very nosy ass people. Okay. Very nosy ass people. I'm one of them Aries. I ain't that damn nosy because I don't really care to know your business. And even if I do know your business, I'm never a person to get out here and spray your tea, even after we fall out or we're not friends anymore. That's not my stilo. But I know a lot of people that do. It's just not for me. Crystal, so next comes in Dorit and Garcelle. Camille and Denise come in. Faye's face when Camille came in was so funny. Like, this trick here came into the party. Oh, Faye was so disgusted by seeing her. Garcelle turned around and was like, "Oh," and Denise says, What's with the O? Like, what's the O mean?" And Garcelle was like, "Oh, too," because Garcelle's like, she know the history of Faye and Camille, and she knows they don't like each other, and she don't even know how this is gonna go. But ooh, this is finna be a mess. Denise says she's not eating any CBD or THC food, and also Garcelle says no, thank you to that. As she's talking to Cynthia, and she says, you don't know when it's gonna kick in, and Cynthia was like, "Girl, you don't know when it's gonna kick in or shut off." Okay, which is true because at one time I had edible, and I felt like I was lit for a whole 24 to 48 hours. Like I just really was like, when is this gonna stop? Okay. So everyone else goes to sit down at the table. Sutton and Kyle go off to the side. And side note, before I even get any further in it, did it seem like Denise Richards was lit when she got in there? And I don't know what kind of Christmas tree lit she was, but Shorty was lit. When I mean lit. It was crazy how lit she was. But I just wanted to point that out. Faye and Camille have issues with sitting across from each other. And Camille was like, "Thank God she moved down to the other end of the table." Kyle and Sutton are speaking, and Sutton says she didn't like how things went between them, and Kyle agrees. And she says the reason why she wasn't in her best self is because her ex-husband got a promotion and he's moving to London, and told her she and her son, and she felt like her and her son, he told her she and her son James would have to move there, and that upset her. Okay. So Kyle says, "Well, F him, he can't tell you what to do." And she said, "Well, that's easy for you to say." And I understand why Sutton is saying that because, hey, he's a man with money and power. You saying F him, but at the end of the day, I know what I had to deal with to fight to get my money and get my settlement that I got now. I don't want to have to fight again for custody of my son. And she understood that. But Kyle, again, because Kyle is deflecting per usual, this is what's going on. So Kyle's like nasty and was like, go ahead and finish your story. And I'm just like, Kyle, you don't realize because you are so defensive and so on 10 and ready for somebody to ask you something about Mauricio and your marriage that you are just being a nasty ass bitch. And it is past the level of the normal Kyle bitch that I can take. It's on a level of we just don't understand level. It's just really disgusting at this point. Sutton felt like her ex could take James from her, and she knows he has power and money, and to her, that is very scary. She didn't know if her son would want to go, and she says, her brain was just kind of somewhere else when they were having that conversation. And Sutton says her child support may increase because she will have James more. They won't really be 50-50. She will have him predominantly. So it will change from being um more of them having splitting time to her being with him all of the time, or him James spending more time with her. And Kyle felt like you want sympathy for for a move that's not even going to happen, and for child support that might increase, and she feels like that shouldn't even be an issue. And I'm like, Kyle, just because you don't see, this is where, Kyle, you just don't have any fucking emotional intelligence at all. You just being, again, a nasty ass bitch. And it's all because you just don't like Sutton, and you feel like Sutton is clocking your tea about you and Mauricio and staying on your ass about you really addressing it, and you really don't want to address it. And that's really what this shit is. It's nothing other than that. And it's just like irking my damn soul, pissing me off. So Sutton felt like you're going to be nasty to me in my home and play my situation down as if it's not a big deal. Kyle is being sarcastic, and it's nasty, and it's very tone deaf to me again. Kyle says that it's an excuse Sutton is using when she behaves like this. It's what she does. So Sutton was like, "What's your excuse for being a bitch?" I added that extra in on there. And they go back and forth at the table. Garcelle is like, where's Sutton and Kyle? And Denise is like, did she have too many hors d'oeuvres? And her and Erica start laughing. They go back to Sutton and Kyle. Sutton tells Kyle she's not the friend she usually is to her. And Sutton says, what's going on with you? And will you be honest? Again, this is a friend asking a friend, hey, this ain't you. Regardless of how me and you may spar back and forth, this is not you. Tell me what's going on with you. Kyle's still acting like ain't nothing going on. And I'm like, girl, you and Sutton would be able to get somewhere if you're willing to be honest, and you're not. So Kyle is like, maybe it's your medicine for your feet that makes you act this way. And Sutton gets up and leaves over, explaining what's going. She's over explaining what's going on. Kyle is acting like it's not a big deal, whatever. She should get over it. Crystal had walked in during the conversation, wanted to see, if they were ready to come back to the table, because everybody's ready to kind of get this meal going and start eating. And she asked Kyle, well, did they get some kind of resolution, or is it more of the same? Sutton said, Sutton again is walking out. Sutton says Sutton is walking out. Kyle says Sutton keeps acting like there's something, and she should be telling her. And Crystal says, y'all are doing the same thing to each other. And Sutton comes back to the table and says, and they say, well, where's the hostess? And Sutton says, in denial about something. And I was like, ooh, bloop. That was like a Nene, bloop, right there. And Denise's face was turned up crazy, like, ugh. And Kyle comes back to the table, and Garcelle asks her, is she okay? And she says no. Chris and the chef come out, and he explains the meal, and Kyle is calling Sutton a bitch. And at the table, mouthing it to Dorit, and Dorit is looking back like, what the hell is going on? They go around getting everyone's dosage for the meal, and Crystal wants everyone to clear the air before the dinner. Kyle says she doesn't like getting veiled threats from her friend. And I'm like, girl, Sutton wasn't threatening you. She just wanted to know what the fuck is going on with you. And will you just go ahead and say what's going on with you and be honest and be vulnerable with the group? And instead, you feel like you don't have to do that. And the moment that Sutton is being vulnerable as a friend, you pay her shit to the dust, like whatever, it's not a big deal. And it's like, Kyle, I don't know what you want, but if you're going through this much shit, bitch, you didn't have to be on this season. And that's just how I feel. Sutton's like, because I'm asking what's going on with you, that's a threat. Kyle says, if you have the balls to ask me, then have the balls to bring it up. And Sutton says she shared something personal with her. She made fun of it, which you did, Kyle. Kyle says she's not saying it not sad, saying it's not sad, but this is another excuse for making her for her behavior in Vegas, like she did in Lake Tahoe. Sutton says you're just deflecting, and everybody was quiet looking because everybody know Sutton ain't wrong. Nobody just don't want to say nothing, but Sutton's not wrong. Sutton says you're just deflecting, and she says she's talking about herself and her personal life, and she's being real, and all she wanted her to do was be a friend and do the same back. She says, well, you're perfect. And then Kyle says, I'm not saying my life is perfect. And that's what they trying to get you to say. If your life ain't perfect right now, just be honest. Just be honest, Kyle. It's not hard. Kyle is still saying, have the balls to ask me. She's screaming it. Sutton says, I'm asking, is there anything going on with you? Kyle keeps saying, you're insinuating things. And Sutton is like, working out and you're working out like crazy. You're not eating. And Kyle says, well, you have a lot of guts. You don't eat either. And Kyle says, Sutton pushes her food around her plate like her kids. Then Anne-Marie jumps in it and is like, well, if you're friends, you should be able to say things to each other. And I'm like, girl, who asked you to say shit? Can you just sit there? Because I already don't even like you. Okay. She says they are not saying anything to each other. If they're going to say it, just be blunt and say it. And Sutton says, what's going on? And Garcelle was like, her marriage. What's going on in your marriage? Thank you, Garcelle, for being the one that actually said something. Because I'm just like, damn. Can somebody go ahead and ask the question that we all want to know? What the hell is going on with you and Mauricio? Period. That's the question that everybody wants to know. And Kyle turns like the death stare, and it's like, girl, come on, you know what everybody wants to know. And Garcelle then asks, what's up with the new wedding band? And Dorit like, there's a new wedding band? And Denise got her mouth open. Garcelle says she thought it was a makeup band. And Kyle's like, what is that? And Garcelle is like, when your husband messes up, he buys you a gift. Garcelle was like, I got a diamond cross. And Erica was like, did it burst into flames? And they start laughing. Camille was like, shoot, I got to Aston Martin. They're all joking about it. And Faye says it seems so inappropriate to ask her about her marriage at the table and talking behind her back. And I'm like, girl, Faye, please. Everybody on mute, especially you. You and Anne-Marie. Both of you hoes can be on mute for me. And then Kyle asked Garcelle, oh, where did you get that necklace? And she was like, Zara. And they all laughed. So Erica says she didn't know why Sutton digs in people's personal lives, but she glad it ain't her. She's enjoying the show. Because Erica knows it's BS with her friend, but she ain't going to clock it and she ain't going to say nothing. Erica just going to leave it alone. Erica really working on rehabbing her image on this show so that Erica can get work and get back to that lifestyle that she had with Tom. I see Erica and I see the vision, and girl, I understand. Going to get your paper, okay? I ain't even mad at it. I don't really care for Erica like that, but shoot, if you trying to fix your brand, do what you got to do. Kyle is like, she brought the ring herself. It's not a big deal. She brought a Cartier ring when she was shopping with Sutton when they went shopping, so she buys jewelry all the time. It's not a big deal. The wedding ring is at the bank. Okay, girl, you're making it a big deal because of how defensive you're coming off from simple questions. If it's good, baby, you ain't got to be all defensive, boo. You can just answer the question. And that's really all they wanted you to do was answer just a question. But the fact that you're defensive says everything. Sutton says it's cleared up. It's not a big deal. She's good. Again, Sutton is still calm. This is how, Kyle, you making yourself look like a jackass. Kyle keeps turning to Anne-Marie and saying, well, it's at the bank. And he must have done something. And I'm like, girl, see, again, this is why people keep speculating that something is going on more than what's going on, because this is how you're doing things. Kyle blurts, "So you think my husband cheated on me?" And Sutton says, "I didn't say that." And Marie says, "Kyle can't get fit or get new jewelry." And I'm like, can you shut up? Like a damn chihuahua. But because she told you to help her clock in and help defend her, you coming in all hot. And boo boo, I need you to sit down. Like, and have several seats. Okay? Because we see the scandal in the news about your husband. Pipe down. So Kyle says she said at the retreat that this wasn't the best year of her marriage. And Kyle goes on a rant and says, "Do you want my husband to have cheated on me and bought me that band?" And I'm like, girl, what's the issue? What's tea? Please give us what's tea? What's the real tea? She says he didn't, and she bought it herself. Okay. Again, nobody give a fuck about you buying no ring. You cleared it up. Girl, there's nothing to keep explaining and getting upset over. That's why I say every time someone brings up your husband and your marriage, you keep getting like it's like somebody's hitting a nerve with you, and it's really telling. Garcelle says in her confessional that Kyle doesn't want to address the elephant in the room, and that her marriage is not. It doesn't want to address the elephant in the room. It's not about the ring. It's about her marriage. And the real elephant in the room is about your marriage. And that's what the point that you don't want to address. Sutton says she's happy and content with all of her answers, and she's good. And Kyle says she's exercising and not drinking because if she drinks 2 glasses of wine and she's going to be drunk and then say something she doesn't want to say, embarrass herself, and then be depressed the next day. So she's not drinking right now. And again, my opinion, you're not drinking because you're running from whatever issues that you have. And you know, when you having issues and you're going through something, you drink more. And since you don't want to be caught saying something, because here's the thing. When people drink, you tell the real tea. And you know you scared that you're gonna tell your real tea if you drink on camera. So that's why you ain't drinking on camera. I'm not dumb. I done been figured that out. So instead, instead you're channeling other ways by working out. Say, ain't nothing wrong with working out and meditation and eating healthy, clean eating and all of that. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, you're not addressing the real elephant in the room, which is your marriage. And you don't want to address that because it truly is trouble in paradise and it's way deep. You don't want to deal with it with Mauricio. You run into Morgan Wade for emotional support. And that's really what it is. Because you don't want to deal with whatever the hell is going on in your marriage. And Kyle, you can go to hell swiftly because until you address what's going on in your marriage, it's still going to continue to be the elephant in the room with all of the women. It's just going to be an elephant in the room. Sorry. So they black out the ending of it and they say, it's to be continued. So we'll see what the rest of the dinner party gives next week. Because I can tell that this dinner party is going to be off the chain. The rest of it. Woo! That's all I got. Ain't got no more for y'all today. Like I said, make sure y'all check out Hotline Bling chat room tonight. Episode 3, part 1 drops tonight at 10:15 Eastern, 9:15 Central Standard Time. The second episode is gonna drop. Part 2 of episode 3 is gonna drop on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central. Make sure y'all go over to Chef Don Don's channel, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell button so when the videos drop, they are there. As well, just to let you know, School of Love is casting. The casting is extended. We will be starting filming in January. The actual show will premiere sometime in March of 2024. So if you're a lady, a woman between 30 and 45 and you would like to date me, go ahead, get into the things of the things. And y'all make sure that y'all apply at www.tcddproductions.com. So y'all make sure y'all do that and get over there expeditiously. Make sure you do it before December 23rd of 2023. The post is on social media. It is on the community wall on YouTube as well. And hey, check out your boy because I'm out here doing a lot of things right now. So I'm super, super, super busy. So thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. And check out this trailer on your way out.
The Chef Don Don Productions presents School of Love, honey. A new LGBTQ web reality series in the big city of Dallas, Texas. If you are interested in dating a schoolboy, make sure you get those applications in right now, just in time for school to be in session.